fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX Terra phaser from Ultraman Decker. So real quick spoilers, if you're not caught up on the show, just kind of go forward a minute and I'll try to make this quick. But this is a robot that they built on the show to help Decker and support the rest of the team, then eventually gets taken over by an evil agent from the future, and then it becomes a bad guy, so that's a little bit of plot spoiler there. But it's a really cool action figure. You can see we have Decker here. We have Hane Giro. We get some phrases from him because he does pilot it on the show. Over here on this side, just kind of a close-up of the robot, again with Hane Giro. Over here on this side, it shows Phase 1 and Phase 2. So I'm trying to remember exactly when this came out, and I'm wondering if it was a spoiler for the show or not. I think it must have been, but I don't know. In any case, it's all public knowledge now. There are two different heads we can switch through, and we'll go through all that. Of course, the two shoulder pads can kind of form the cannon on the chest. We'll check that out as well. It does have 3 little LR44 watch batteries included, so you don't have to provide your own batteries for this, which is always nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging. I'm going to go ahead and get them out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. Here is the DX Terra phaser out of the packaging, looking pretty cool. Just want to preface the review real quick. There probably will be some mild spoilers, just because of the nature of all the features that this guy has. We kind of have to get into spoiler territory. So if you're not caught up on the show, I definitely recommend checking it out. It's very easily accessible on Subaraya's YouTube channel. You can go over there and watch it for free with ads. But it's been pretty good so far. A little slow in the beginning, but I think it's picking up, so I definitely recommend checking it out. So there's your spoiler warning. But getting back to the figure here, I love the color scheme. I think this light blue with the really dark gray works really well. Just to do a little size comparison real quick, here is Decker Flash Type, the Ultra Action figure, and then this is kind of just the first vinyl that I could grab. So you can see definitely larger than both of them. I feel like on the show, Decker's maybe to about his shoulder. They're a little bit more in scale with each other. These two figures here, definitely a bit of a height discrepancy. But honestly, the Ultra Action figures and the vinyls are not terribly different. Maybe half an inch or so. Maybe an inch to half an inch, depending on the vinyl figure. But I just wanted to do a quick size comparison there for you. Okay, back to the figure here. Again, color scheme looks fantastic. We have lights and sounds. This little eye area here does light up with a nice red LED. And I do apologize. The plastic bubble that's over that is very prone to glare, is what I was trying to say. So I apologize for that. Battery compartment back here. This is where you pull the tab out for those 3 watch batteries underneath. If you would ever need to change these, you would just unscrew here and here, and then that whole cover would come off. There's a tiny little reset button right here, and then this is the main button to activate the sounds. I feel like they're both pretty well integrated into the backpack and don't really stand out, which is pretty cool. Articulation-wise, both of these shoulders can swivel here, so they're going to run into the shoulder pads a little bit, but for the most part, you get a pretty good range of articulation there. The gun arm over here can spin 360 kind of at the elbow. And then over here for the capture claw arm, you can spin this completely around. It has the tiniest little bit of wiggle back and forth there at the elbow. I don't know if that's intentional or not. It really doesn't feel like it can go any further than that, and I definitely do not want to break it. But if you press this in, you can see the little pincher claw there. I think that's really, really cool. Also, you can extend this, so you can see how there's kind of a little pin here, and then we can pull that all the way out. And then this still works. You can still use the pincher claw. I think that's pretty cool. And then we can close that back up. So I like that a lot. I think that's a pretty basic little feature there, but I do like that quite a bit. He actually has hip and knee articulation as well. You can kick forward about 90 degrees, and then you can bend at the knee 90 degrees as well. So I think that's pretty cool. I did not expect this to have any articulation below the waist, I'll be completely honest. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, definitely more than I expected. Would have been nice, maybe like a little ankle tilt or something, but, you know, like I said, didn't really expect anything, so anything is welcome. But I really do like this guy a lot. I think it's a really cool color scheme. I like the amount of articulation that he has. I feel like he comes with a decent amount of play features in terms of the 2 arms, and we didn't even get to any of the lights or sounds yet. So we'll go ahead and we will press the button here on the back. So that's just kind of like a mechanized walking sound. And you can see right now that it has the triangle. There is another way, another screen we can change that to, but we'll get into that in a minute. So I'm just going to cycle through the sounds here. So you have some Hanejiro sounds there. Okay, so we've cycled back through because that's the walking sound. We can bring the two shoulder pads together for the cannon. So it recognizes that you switched to the cannon mode, which is pretty cool. So we're going to hit the button again. So that's pretty cool. It goes into that kind of pulsating sound, waiting for you to fire. You hit the button again, and then you hear Hanejiro scream fire. So I think that's pretty cool. I do kind of wish there was an LED in the chest here so that when it was powering up, you would see like the lights start to flash and you could see like a light in the center there for the cannon. So we get a sound effect there for when we open it back up. Like I said, I kind of wish there was like a little LED right here so that it would light up inside the cannon, but I get it. Now we can hold this button down on the back here. And that will shift the mode into phase 2. And you can see there's a little dial here on the head that you can spin this around into the evil face. Again, if you've been watching the show, you know that this eventually does get taken over. And now we can scroll through some more sounds. And I'm covering up the speaker. The speaker's down here in the abdomen. Okay, so we've cycled back through around there. So unfortunately for the evil mode, there's no phrases, it's all just sound effects. But we can go ahead and do the cannon again. So again, no phrases, just the sound effects. But yeah, overall, I feel like it's pretty neat that it has the two different modes. I think it's nice that you can actually switch the head here around for the two different modes. You get sound effects for both modes. You get a couple of character phrases there in the one phase 1 mode. But yeah, overall, I think this is a pretty fun little figure. So I think this is actually pretty cool. The last time we got a large robot like this was probably the storage version of King Joe from Ultraman Z. And that did have like a transformation capability and everything, but I think this is still pretty cool. It has more articulation than I expected. I think King Joe didn't really have anything below the waist, if I'm remembering correctly. And this guy definitely has articulated hips and knees, which is really nice. I absolutely love the color scheme. I think the dark gray and the really kind of like neon blue work really well together. The stickers here for the cannon, I think, look good. They did come pre-applied, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you get a lot of nice paint applications here for the chest and the head. I love the red LED there for the eye. I think that's really cool. And you have the dial so that you can spin the eye between the two different modes, which is also really neat. I really like the capture claw gimmick. I like the gun over here. A little basic, but I think it's neat and I think it works. Yeah, I don't really have too much to complain about, honestly. The only thing I wish is that there was another LED down here in the chest, so that when you closed up the shoulder pads for the cannon, you would have an LED in the barrel of the cannon. I think that would be really cool. But that's really the only thing on my wish list here. I think this guy really works. I like him a lot. He is a little bit larger than I expected. I kind of thought he would scale a little bit better with the Ultra Action figures, but I'm really not complaining. I think he's a good size. Like I said, decent articulation, nice paint applications, and good lights and sound. So I think he's definitely fun, definitely worth adding to the collection if you've been collecting Decker stuff so far. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.